Okay, let's unpack this. So for years, we've used large language models as these powerful, knowledge retrieval systems. But the big problem we all face, you face, is that they're just not reliable. They hallucinate. They confidently tell us things that just aren't true.
And that fundamental lack of reliability, it really stems from poor calibration.
The model doesn't know what it doesn't know.
Exactly. And so this research tackled that head on. The goal was to train LLMs to become genuine super forecasters, making nuanced predictions about open-ended global events.
Right, that's the mission. But LLMs need a ton of data. So what was the big problem with using, say, human prediction markets to train them?
It was really a triple threat. First, the volume was just too low. Humans were the bottleneck. You need millions of examples, not thousands.
And second, I'm guessing the data was pretty noisy. Most of those predictions are binary, right? A simple yes or no,
Exactly. If you only ask yes/no questions, your baseline for just guessing is 50%.
which creates a really messy reward signal during training.
It does. The model can reason poorly and still get positive reinforcement half the time. It really obscures whether it's actually learning.
And the third problem was bias, I take it.
A huge distributional bias. They were so focused on US politics or crypto, it doesn't give the model a holistic worldview.
Okay, so to solve that scaling problem, the researchers built an automated recipe.
They did. They generated a data set called OpenForesight, which is about 52,000 open-ended forecasting questions, all pulled from daily news.
That's an incredible scale. We're talking something like 250,000 news articles using advanced models to just generate the questions automatically.
And these questions are specific. They're open-ended. The answer isn't a percentage, it's concrete info, like who will be confirmed as the new prime minister of Ukraine on 17 July 2025?
But hold on. How do you train a model on news events without letting it just cheat and look up the answer later? The data leakage problem sounds immense.
Oh, as a second major challenge, they were very careful. They used a static offline news corpus to make sure the date cutoffs were clean.
So the model couldn't see the future, so to speak.
Exactly. And they had this incredibly rigorous filtering pipeline.
Wait, I read that they removed something like 90% of all the candidate questions.
They did. An insane commitment to quality, because they also rewrote parts of the questions to avoid leaking the answer.
And they found that without those filters, the model actually got worse at forecasting.
It did. It just confirms that models learn to cheat very, very quickly if you let them.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting for me.
Right.
The actual training.
Right. They used reinforcement learning on a specialized model, OpenForecaster 8B, and it had a retrieval system, but it could only access news up to 1 month before the event.
And the reward function was the secret sauce.
It was the crucial innovation. So first, they tried rewarding pure accuracy, just for being right.
And what happened?
It destroyed the model's calibration. It would get things right, sure, but it would be wildly overconfident when it shouldn't have been.
Okay, so that didn't work. What if they went the other way? Just use the Breyer score to reward calibrated confidence.
The model became too timid. It got punished so harshly for being confident and wrong that it just started saying unknown nearly 40% of the time on hard questions.
So it threw its hands up.
It basically got scared of making tough calls. So the solution was to combine them.
A reward function with both accuracy plus the adapted Breyer score.
And that let the model be confident when it should be, but it still got a little boost for exploring difficult questions where its confidence was low.
And the results were pretty remarkable. This little 8 billion parameter model was suddenly competing with or even beating proprietary models 10 times its size.
It matched or outperformed giants like GPT OSS 120B on their test sets, yeah.
So what does this all mean for you, for the future of these tools? It's not just about a better weather report.
Not at all. The immediate benefit is a general improvement in fundamental LLM reliability.
Because the forecasting training made it better calibrated overall.
Precisely. And when an LLM is better calibrated, it is so much better at knowing what's reliable and what isn't. That is the most effective tool we have for massively reducing hallucinations.
So it's a shift from a simple fact retriever
to a reasoning engine. A true open-ended forecaster has to reason about uncertainty. It has to make these optimal Bayesian updates to its own internal world model.
And that feels like a foundational step forward.
It's a huge step, a step in a really challenging direction, but one that moves us closer to the real quest for general intelligence.